They are waiting for approvals to create the next update. Have them tell Thomas that. Thomas wants to hear from them, not you. You're no help. Saying nothing about it is wrong. Not coming out and saying we don't stand for this on our platform is wrong. Their communication they're waiting for approval on, bad news. If it was good news, they'd share it. Or they'd be in the comments, guys, I can't wait to share with you this great news. Just hold on for a little bit. You'd have an update saying, hey, there'll be a real update here in a bit. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Ain't doing that. It's because Night Games is screwed. Calling it now. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. GameFound knows it. We all know it. Just gonna play this BS game for a while longer, I guess. This company already got in trouble. It already didn't run itself well. So why were we idiots enough to think that that would change? Why were we stupid enough to just get this like sunken cost fallacy or this belief that, oh, maybe now they'll do it well? They didn't. What's up, Rockstars? It is time to talk about Mythic Games, Red Joker, a few others. I really just want to talk about these campaigns or these companies that have asked for money, received money, not delivered, and not even communicated. What is going on with that? Is it safe on GameFound? And the answer is no. We'll get into it right now. Now, I know what you're thinking. I get it. Because I've been asked already 3 times today, where did I get this great shirt? Into the AM. Link down in the description below. They look great. Seriously. Commented 3 times. 3 times today. Because I wore a new shirt. Now, I've worn new shirts tons of times, but for Into the AM, they just fit great. They feel great. They look great. And you'll look great in them too. You'll love them, I promise. Link down below. Save 10% extra on top of any other sales they're doing. There's some fall stuff coming out that looks great. There's some fantastic new drops. This one right here, this Eternal Blossom tee, amazing. Amazing. These are fantastic shirts, guys. Great company. They got their heads screwed on straight. They will deliver their product, and you'll love it. So if you want a surefire, great shirt, boxers, hoodies, jackets, they got so much. Feel free to check them out again in the link below. Thank you Into the AM for the sponsorship. Thank you guys for helping support the channel and getting great apparel on top of it through Into the AM. Again, link down below. Now, the problem with doing this video is that it's kind of a really hot topic, right? I mean, there's people that have lost hundreds of dollars. I would know because I'm one of them, paying hundreds of dollars for a product I don't have. People get a little upset about it. People get a little heated about it. And they want to use me or this channel to feel their emotions validated or to hear what their exact feelings are. And that's not something I can provide because that is a wide spectrum. And if I go one way, some people are upset. If I go another way, some people are upset. And really, I can only go my way. So I'm going to tell you my opinion. I'm going to show some insight into it. I think some of you are saying things that aren't exactly true, or you're not aware of some things that have been happening. I have spoken with Leo from Mythic Games as well. There's not a whole lot to talk about that, but I'll talk about why there's not a lot to talk about, which I think says a lot about that. I'll draw some comparisons to some other companies, what's going on right now, some of them even on GameFound, so we'll talk about that, and what the platform's response are. We actually have a response from GameFound on one of these, so it's going to be a good video. Let's go ahead and dive in. So, Darkest Dungeon, in case you didn't know, fantastic game. Great game. Love my time with Darkest Dungeon. One of my son's favorite games, actually. He had a blast playing it with me. Again, just a really fun game and a well-produced, amazing game. Really, Mythic Games standard. Mythic Games was just top tier for me. They made some great games. Super Fantasy Brawl, fantastic game. Really well-regarded, well-reviewed, well-loved, great quality. Solomon Kane, Fantastic game. Really, really good. Reviewed really well. Fantastic quality. The miniatures are great. The components are great. It's premium. It is an amazing crowdfunded board game. Mythic Games is knocking it out of the park. Mythic Battles, way back when they did that, again, fantastic. Darkest Dungeon, great. Six Siege, great. It's like everything they did was just awesome. I played the prototype of Monster Apocalypse, like the board game version they were doing. Fantastic. Great. As always. Anastyr, same thing. Now, those last two made sound a little odd. That's because nobody got them. All I had was a prototype. Gave it out to the community. So hopefully you guys can enjoy that prototype, whoever got that. But yeah, Darkest Dungeon. So their last update here, February 23, okay, of this year. I have to claim it this year because not all the games and campaigns I'm going to show you guys today is even an update from this year. So February 23, barely this year, a long time ago, like almost 8 months ago now at this point, right? Just crazy long time ago. Now, this is not their last update for Mythic Games, though. Just their last one, Darkest Dungeon. So Darkest Dungeon couldn't deliver, right? I've made videos on this, so I'm going to go over it. So then they asked for contribution money to send it. Me and many others paid for it, and they sent Wave 1. And they said, don't worry, that counts for Wave 2. Well, lo and behold, Wave 2 can also be delivered. They asked for contributions again. This time, they give you a discount based off of what you did in the first one. So we pay again. And then nothing. And that's the problem here, right? It was already a big enough problem asking for the contribution, then asking it again when you already said you wouldn't the first time, to ask again. But then to ask again and then send nothing is crazy. Now, what if I were to tell you that they just made money? Well, we'll get to it. First, let's start at this update. February 23, 2024. You haven't heard from us in a while, and we apologize for the inconvenience. Really? If we get another update, is it going to say the same thing? They should just copy paste it. That's ironic. We can announce a plastic injection will begin in a few days. A few days. Production process already started, right? So they already printed some things. Are they paying for storage this whole time? Is that what's going on? Or did they just remove all that stuff and not pay for storage? I don't know. Did they ever start making these minis? Mass producing them? Don't know. If they were going to start plastic injection, I'm assuming the molds were all made, and they show some minis down here too, and they look to be fairly final. So I would think the steel molds were even made on that. It's kind of wild. We'll get back to you soon with a more precise schedule for delivery dates. February 23, 2024. Nothing. That's the last they spoke to us. It's shameful. It's shameful. I'm going to go over some more information. This all looks great, by the way. Such a good game, too. Makes me want to play it again already, just looking at it. Okay, so that was our last update from them. Okay, we're going to go into a lawsuit soon. Hey, guys, this is a big one. But I'm going to flip to 6 Siege here because you'll notice this update is from May 17th of this year. Much more recent. Okay, late contribution update. So if you didn't know, for 6 Siege... Again, they delivered 6 Siege. It wasn't in 2 ways. It was like this whole big thing. So if you paid the extra ransom money, which you had to do, you did get the game. Again, it's a fantastic game. Everybody who did, my understanding is actually pretty happy with it. A lot of people sold their skins. I didn't because I'm an idiot and got pretty much all their money back. So there's that involved too. Look, it's a really good game, well reviewed, and the people who paid for it got it. Here, they're like, well, we opened it up again for people to pay that contribution again, and guess what? A ton of people did. So many that they ran out of product to send out, actually, because they're not printing this out. They just had some that they were selling on the store, if you recall. So they actually were like, hey, we can't quite deliver. This is what we're delivering and what we're not delivering, and they pretty much sold out of all of their stuff, right? So they were able to send this out, which is great, which is really good. Now, the problem here is that none of this matters for Darkest Dungeon. It shows that they're alive, at least months later. It shows that actually they did get money in, but if the contribution truly was just pretty much the cost of shipping, and maybe even a little bit more, that doesn't really help deliver Darkest Dungeon. Now, if they have not delivered by now, they asked for our money, they have not delivered, they're not going to. Just straight up give up on that right now. Do not expect it. I don't expect it. I don't expect Wave 2, which sucks because it looks like it was pretty much all done. And it also sucks because Mythic Games and a lot of these companies aren't willing to compromise. In other words, they will deliver nothing instead of delivering it but getting rid of the miniatures or something like that. Now, for them, it doesn't even really matter because, honestly, the miniatures aren't the cost anymore. It looks like the sculpts have already been made. All the costs associated with that. This is literally just to print the darn thing and send it. Isn't working anymore. So, yeah, it's kind of... It sucks. It sucks. But it just... We're not going to get it. It's not going to happen. It has nothing to do with miniatures. If they got rid of the miniatures, they'd have to redesign the boxes and stuff like that, and the shipping would be a little bit less, but it's just not a thing. Now, why isn't it? We sent them the money. Well, the problem is that nothing is like as straightforward as that seems. It's not just, we need X money to print it wholly, send us X money, right? They have their own funds, they have their own deals, they have their own, contracts and all sorts of other stuff. My assumption is that the X amount that they asked for was not the full X amount raws and not accounting for anything else. They were probably accounting for other things to work out for them. Just like they were before with retail deals and stuff like this. And right, there's all this kind of ways that companies can make money or have money that might be coming in that it ends up not, essentially. So my assumption is that either contracts weren't locked down and so X changed that way, or they had other things that they thought were going to bring in money that didn't bring in as much money or didn't bring in money, so that didn't count, or more than likely a mix of everything, right? You got to remember, this is a company that got into trouble because they weren't good at the whole business thing anyway, right? This is a company that learned firsthand, hey, sending a big storage box that's like empty, just so people can get a little dent into it and ask for a replacement of another big box that's empty, and then they'd actually send them a new big empty box. Like, this is a company that just spent money at, again, I talked about the ultra premium games that they did. Their miniatures are fantastic. Their cardboard components, fantastic. Their cards, the card stock, great. The shit, all of it was really good. Like, they were super These were the people that for I can't even think of that, Super Fantasy Brawl had so many storage bins. It was a joke. There were too many storage bins. It's just, this company already got in trouble. It already didn't run itself well. So why were we idiots enough to think that would change? Why were we stupid enough to just get this sunken cost fallacy, or this belief that, oh, maybe now they'll do it well? They didn't. And so here we are without a product again after giving them more money. Again. It's just crazy to me. I've talked about how it's possible that they might even look into not giving money directly to them, but instead to the rights holders or another company or even GameFound or something like that. And the problem is again, that X money that they say they need may not be enough, right? Because of other things that happen. So that one's, there's literally no solution to this. Unless they can magically send it out, it just doesn't work out that way. Now, I say there's no solution, but then there was Peterson Games with their Quimbley savior, right? Their angel investor. Their hey, we're fans and we have a lot of money and we want to send this out. Anything is technically possible. So I don't want to give you no hope, but let it be a pleasant surprise than an expectation. This is just, it's bad. Now, there is a way you can get money back. Maybe. No guarantee. Disclaimer, obviously have like no idea about laws. But this person claims that they sued them and got a full refund, 100% refund, or like motioned to sue them. It didn't actually go through. They just like paid the refund, so they dropped the case, right? There's some information here. I'll link down to this below. Feel free to read through it. They talk about what the debt action that you would do and stuff like that if you wanted to do that. There's something around the EU as well when it comes to small claims in the EU that maybe could work. Obviously, when you're a threat, you do tend to get the refund. The thing is they can't refund everybody. I guarantee they don't have that kind of money. If they did, they'd print the darn thing, right? So that would eventually run out. So that's a way to kind of skip the line, right? That isn't really moving. That's why there are people that have been asked for refund for years. And just like I said, like, don't expect the refund. If you did legit lawyer up, that's often a way to kind of get a, okay, fine, go away. But yeah, it's bad. That being said, they could communicate this. It's BS that they don't. It really is. It really is. I don't understand the lack of communication from these companies. I really don't. I really don't. Just say, hey, yeah, we're working on it. We're trying. Either say you've given up or we still haven't given up and you're trying new things. Something is better than nothing, right? And the problem is this is nothing. The problem is when you do this, and then on another one where you're asking for money and stuff like that, you do this. So like, in other words, you're still here. You're making an update here. Make an update here. I get it's not fun. I get you're going to get a lot of feedback. By all means, don't read the comments. But at least you've communicated. If nothing else. If nothing else. If Mythic Games is going to go down, they still get to choose how it goes down. Right? And you could do it, semi-gracefully or just not at all. And I feel like this is not graceful, right? This is not respectful. There's no dignity in here. When times are easy, when everybody's happy, that honestly doesn't count for a lot. If you're doing great, you just raised millions of dollars and your company's doing fantastic and everybody and your backers are happy, running an update doesn't mean a lot. Not to me. I mean, like, it's great. By all means, communicate. But that's the easy one, right? When you have to deliver hard news, when times are hard, when the relationship is strained, when people are upset, and you update anyway, that's when it matters. A bad situation's a bad situation, but if you did your part, then you did your part. No, communicating isn't everything. It's the bare minimum. But we're not even getting that. We're not even getting that. These companies would rather stay silent and just frustrate you than rip the Band-Aid off and tell us the bad news. It's just wild. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. It really is. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Just the lack of respect in it really bothers me. It really, really bothers me. And the problem is Mythic Games not alone on this either, right? Let's take a look at Oko Chronicles. So the Red Joker and Oko Chronicles, again, fantastic game. Love Oko Chronicles. I have great memories playing this with my family through the campaign, especially the first time through. It was just so fun. It was such a great artwork and great minis, and it was an indie dev, and they were communicative, and they were taking feedback. Literally, I had like questions, and they incorporated those questions into an FAQ in the reprint so that other people wouldn't have those same questions, just to improve the product. Like that level of interaction between the community, between who was playing their games and who was buying their games, and it was awesome. It was great. It was really good. Till it wasn't. Because see, when it's easy, it's easy. When it's hard, not so much. So, their last update for Cycle of Earth, December 12th, 2023. 23. Almost a year ago at this point. Almost a year ago. Just crazy. And they're showing all this work that they did. All this development. So what are they doing with production. Well, they're managing negotiations. Really, I could end it there. Because I can guarantee that didn't work out too well. I can guarantee that this is some spin on what the real underlying is. And that's the problem, is even when they update, it doesn't mean you can trust it. It doesn't mean they're not just yanking your chain, right? Full transparency on the situation, right? We have to negotiate crucial aspects of the quality. I mean, this is just called printing. And that's what you would do. The reason you're calling out this negotiation, the reason they know that it can be frustrating, the reason that the pledge manager is staying open is because there's not an end sight to this. Because the negotiation isn't about quality of materials here. It's about price. It's about cost. Because if I scroll up here, they made 166,000 euros. Now, that's quite a bit. But it's not a lot of profit. That's revenue. And they have to print a game on that with all the SKUs, with all the plastic injection and the molds and the cardboard and the cardstock that doesn't scale well for mass production and all this other stuff when it comes to expensive stuff. They have to build this game and deliver it off of that. And it's not happening, which is why, again, we've not received an update from the Red Joker in a long, long time. And the problem is, people are calling it out, right? I know it's not pleasant giving less than stellar news, but it's the least that could be done. The least that could be done. Like, actually talk about what it is that, like where are you at? The least. 9 months ago, a comment. It just, it sucks. It sucks. And it hurts the whole industry. I know there are some of you. Let me know. Have you turned off a crowdfunding from this? These type of games from an indie dev like Red Joker, or these super quality premium niche games like what Mythic Games is doing, only possible through crowdfunding. I love the hobby. I love the genres that they frequent. I love having this cool premium awesome product that, you know, maybe the art is a little edgy or the theme doesn't match everything, or it's just custom order for us. I love it. I think that's awesome. And yet the industry is getting hurt by stuff like this. Now, this is all Kickstarter. Let's go to GameFound. Let's go to Batman Escape from Arkham Asylum. Their last update, 5/14/2024. 5/14/2024, where they just post the rulebook. That's pretty much it. And then it says people, hey, yeah, this last update's like really old. What's going on here? So if we go to the comments here, you'll see, here's a response from 9/5. That's like recent, right? That's like now. So they're still there. They're still responding. And for some people, they're even getting a refund. But obviously, once the refund requests start giving out that refund money, it just hurts you more and more, right? Because all the scale that you thought you were at isn't quite there because it's changing, right? It honestly makes the problem worse than it already is. We heard from the creators last Friday. They are waiting for approvals to create the next update. This is from GameFound. This is GameFound's response. What a joke from GameFound. Respect is slowly disappearing all around. So here's the problem. The approvals. What do you think those approvals are for? Do you think it's for art? Think it's for renders? All that was already shown. I think it's something more. It's approvals, but not for something good. Not for something good. I can guarantee you there. Not after this many months, right? If we scroll down a little bit more, I will never use GameFound again unless they sort this out. And keep going. We will continue showing the miniatures so that you can check their quality and give us your opinion about them. That was an update they had in April. So after 5 months, We haven't even seen one picture of those miniatures. Somehow they're just missing. They're just gone. I mailed GameFound twice. They're acting like Knights is just bad at communication. They're not lifting a finger. Here's the problem with bad communication. Here's the problem. It's a bad experience for customers no matter what. Those customers being GameFound users. People that make GameFound possible. In not calling out or pushing or forcing some kind of update or something like that, you're hurting your own customer base. And it makes it seem like you being, Kickstarter who doesn't care at all, and GameFound who claims they care, on the side of the people that are disrespecting your backers, your users. Which kind of sucks, right? There's not really a whole lot of sympathy there. There's not really a whole lot of, hey, yeah, this is wrong. They shouldn't be doing this to you. We'll work with them to fix this. It's just, they're waiting on approvals with the no information. And the problem, again, is this lack of communication, more often than not, isn't just we suck at communication. It's they're not communicating. That's not sucking. That's not doing, right? GameFound, crowdfunding board games, relies at its foundation with communication. This is not a pre-order system, right? That's what I always say. Well, that's the case, and it's not just showing a product and then taking money and eventually delivering it. There's communication involved there. There's an expectation that GameFound needs to start setting, because Kickstarter won't, unless GameFound wants to be the same. I doubt they do. This is a problem that's destroying this industry. It's insidious, and it's already taken people away from it that will never come back. Ever. And the bigger these are, the more IP this is attached to, Darkest Dungeon, Batman, the worse it gets. The worse it gets. It goes from an opportunity to bring in new people that can use the system to, oh my gosh, this was a terrible experience. Oh yeah, GameFound, I did that once. It was bad. I don't plan on doing that again. For half a year, they didn't give us an update. And after multiple emails, GameFound just says, no, it's cool, bro. Not exactly a great customer experience. And it makes you feel like you're alone. GameFound's not going to help you. Night Games isn't going to help you. All you get is a YouTube channel for some guy that yells at the company that they don't care about anyway. I don't know what's going on with Night Games. I don't know what's going on with Red Joker. I don't know what's going on with Mythic Games. All I can say is, if you see a company not communicating in their history, first of all, always check their history. Don't back their game. Don't ever back another game from Night Games. Ever. Unless they got like a decade later of experience of great games, right? Because the problem is, even if they do deliver, right? I mean, they even delivered Six Siege, right? Mythic Games did. Or Darkest Dungeon Wave 1. But it still didn't matter. Because the company still sucks underneath it all. Nothing changed. This always works until the money doesn't work. And then it's bad. And so if it starts working again, it's just going to work until the money's bad. But regardless, company culture matters. How a company acts matters. So you don't want to just back a company that will only talk to you when times are good. Or only talk to you when things are hunky-dory. Things are A-okay. You want to back a company that cares and respects you enough to talk to you when there are some issues, when there are some hurdles to work through. And there are tons of companies that do that. I mean, this is crowdfunded board games. Like we understand backers. I've said it for years before this whole fiasco happened with Mythic Games, that backers are some of the most forgiving customers I've ever met. You can be late by a year or more, and then deliver the game. But if you communicated through that whole process and then delivered the game, guess what? They're happy. They'll buy your next product even. But not if the communication's bad. That's not how it works. It's just, it's wild to me. It's wild to me. And it sucks that we're not seeing the support from GameFound that we need. It feels to me like they're not in our corner here, right? I mean, you're busy responding to somebody who has emailed you multiple times saying, hey, this company has taken hundreds of my dollars. Some of your wages came from those dollars when you took 10% of my money for this. What can I do about it? We fully understand the frustration and challenges that backers face when project creators fail to communicate well with them. Man, they sound Mythic Games. You haven't heard from us in a while, and we apologize for the inconvenience. Mythic Games, GameFound. Apparently they all understand. Except nothing happens. We heard from the creators last Friday. Well, good, we didn't. This guy didn't. Thomas didn't. Thomas heard Jack. They are waiting for approvals to create the next update. Have them tell Thomas that. Thomas wants to hear from them, not you. You're no help. This has been addressed in the comments by them. Not good enough. Obviously, Thomas isn't seeing that or isn't saying that's enough. I'm not necessarily trying to yell at GameFound here, but at the same time, GameFound for a long time was really positioning itself to be like by board gamers for board gamers, right? And really push this like, hey, we understand, right? And I get that they're not going to have like a big thing here. I get that I shouldn't expect so much from a company, right? A company whose direct customers are Night Games, not the backers, right? Like when they're interfacing with other companies that are selling and using their product for it. Like we're almost like too removed from GameFound in a large sense. But I thought it almost seemed like it was going to be the other way. Like, oh no, they're like for backers, and other companies just use their thing to get to their audience, right? It'd be like I mentioned Into the AM. If I treated Into the AM as my customer and not you guys. If I just made videos for Into the AM and in turn you guys liked those videos, then that's just happened chance. Right? It matters. It matters. Whose ball court are you in? If Into the AM did something bad, I don't think so. Like their whole company culture is all about like doing good work and like doing what needs to be done and all that crap. Like it's why I originally went to them. It's why I like to stay inspired and stuff and all that from way back when. Anyway. If that happened, and I just like sided with them instead of you, right? Do you see the problem there? You'd feel a little bit betrayed. Dude, I thought you were making videos for us. I'm talking to them, but they're fine with me, and they're just bad at communication. Don't worry about it. Chill out. All right? No, don't chill out. Have them do something. Right? Make a statement. Hey, we have locked Night Games from our website, and they will never be able to have another campaign until they make this right. We stand by you guys. Make a statement about it. Call them out for it. Create a bottom 10 list right next to your top 10 list. Here are the companies that have taken your money on our platform that we've received money from and you haven't gotten your game from. Not going to happen, obviously. This is the problem with this, right? I'm over here yelling at GameFound, who did nothing but, I guess, profit off of this campaign, right? But like they're like a third party, And yet they're dragged into this. And that's kind of the problem, is like there's all these other ancillary and whatever, like all this fluff around the problem. And I guess my issue with it is nobody's like standing up for the backer. Nobody's saying, you know what, enough's enough. You know what? I'm calling out this bad behavior. Right? When devs say something bad and nobody says anything about it, every other YouTuber ignores it. Everybody just lets the person be a jerk. I'm going to call them out. I've done it several times. If a company is not doing something well and everybody ignores it, everybody within the industry, everybody attached to it, all the developers, all the designers, all the publishers, nobody's saying nothing. And I'm over here. I feel like I'm screaming into the void sometimes. Why is it just me? Why am I making a video about these companies? And yet the platforms that support them say nothing. Why is there no link for me? Why is there not another tab after this one? I go through these tabs on my browser. There's nothing left. There's not a post from... I'm like messing up my browser here. There's no post from GameFound saying this. Instead, there's a private email that somebody was thankful. I'm thankful enough that they shared it with others, because there's some information saying, hey, we talk to them all the time. Why is it just me? Why can this industry not regulate itself? Why is nobody in it for us, for the backers, for the consumers? It's all just a bunch of companies making money off each other. Where's the news site? The last news site I used to take you guys to, it's gone. Covered that too. Was it like Board Game Wire or whatever? Like there was still one more, but it's like, why is this so hard for the board game industry? Billions of dollars in this industry. And yet some small-time YouTuber has to like yell at these companies because nobody else is. Wild to me. Wild. Crazy that nobody just stands up and says what needs to be said. That just says, regardless of what relationship you might have with a company, or what your stocks might say, or what your profit margin might be, or whatever else, you know what's right is right and wrong is wrong. And this is wrong. Treating backers like this, where they're begging and pleading for updates, is wrong. Saying nothing about it is wrong. Not coming out and saying we don't stand for this on our platform is wrong. GameFound, and I'm not trying to focus on this, but seriously, Mythic Games is in the past, right? That's on Kickstarter, though they have some stuff on GameFound, but whatever, that was shut down. Okay, I get that. Red Joker, they're over there on Kickstarter too. But this thing right here, right? Months and months and months of no update. People asking for refunds all the time. People saying, I'm never going to use your platform again. The writing is on the wall, and this won't be the last time this happens, right? You rely on these companies, and these companies, they'll screw over customers, right? Whether it's throwing up AI art, well, I guess Awakened Realms is doing that anyway. But whether it's just spinning up an idea and trying to get money for it and then not funding it, like, you don't know who the real actors and bad actors are, but you can see stuff like poor communication and enforce that. You can say, hey, guess what? This is your last time on here if you're going to treat your customers this way. We don't stand for it. I don't know. There's got to be something somewhere where we as backers can go where we feel a little bit more safe. There's Stable Pledge and there's all that stuff, but you don't have to use Stable Pledge. You don't have to promise that, right? You don't have to communicate with your backers. You can wait for approval for half a year. I'd say vote with your wallet, but obviously this comes afterwards, right? If Night Games continues, vote for your wallet. I backed this, of course, because it's Batman, so I threw money at it too. So again, I'm out. I got nothing. You got nothing. Nobody has nothing. Except GameFound, who has great communication with them, I guess. And they're in comments offering refunds until they can't anymore. Or until what? I don't know. Maybe they got to get approval for the refunds too. Let me know your thoughts. I'm sorry, I know this was a bit rambly. I know this was kind of a lot to go over. I wish I had answers for you, besides the fact that no communication is bad communication. Or I guess no communication is a sign that things aren't going well. Or they communicate, right? When something's good, right? Like think about if you have children. I know a lot of you do. I have a little bit of an older audience. That's fine. I got kids of my own, right? So if you come home and they got an A, they run up to Dad, Mom, I got an A. They're excited to tell you. It's easy to communicate. I got an A. If they got an F, they're not going to say anything. You got to ask about it. Hey, how'd that test go? Might not get an answer. Or it might be a non-answer or whatever, right? When it's bad news, the communication suddenly plummets. Humans are eager to share the good news, never eager to share the bad news. So if they ain't sharing, assume it's bad news. I am assuming that their communication they're waiting for approval on, bad news. If it was good news, they'd share it. Or they'd be in the comments, guys, I can't wait to share with you this great news. Just hold on for a little bit. You'd have an update saying, hey, there'll be a real update here in a bit. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Ain't doing that. It's because Night Games is screwed. Calling it now. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. GameFound knows it. We all know it. Just gotta play this BS game for a while longer, I guess. If there's another company that hasn't communicated, put them in the comments so that other people can see. You can ask for me to look into it, and I can, but at the same time, no communication is bad. Bad news. I'm calling it now. Blanket statement. If they ain't saying something, it's not because things are great. It's because things are bad. I don't even know, like how do you tell the bad ones from the good ones until this happens? I don't know. All right, look. That may have been rambling. That may have been a lot of bad companies being covered. But Into the AM, great company. You'll get your product. You'll love your product. Put my name next to it. Guarantee it. Seriously, fantastic stuff. Been happy with everything they've ever given me. Everything I've worn from them, just fantastic. Good stuff. Link down below, save yourself an extra 10%. And hey, if you want to support one of the few guys willing to yell at these companies for doing stupid stuff, YouTube membership, Patreon, all that kind of stuff, even just a like on the video or a comment saying thanks does great for me. Seriously, the algorithm on YouTube, crazy. Sometimes it likes me, sometimes it doesn't. Engagement, though, certainly helps. And more importantly, it makes me smile when I read your comments saying that it helps. So thank you so much, of course, for all your support. Guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye, guys.